You can't get a right from a wrong, which means basically, if the settlements are wrong to begin with, you can't have the right to protect them because the original act is wrong already. So you cannot get a right from a wrong. And therefore, the International Court had to decide, are the settlements legal or illegal? And the wall that Israel is building, it cuts right through East Jerusalem. And it incorporates large numbers of Jews and also Palestinian Arabs, and excludes a large number of Palestinian Arabs. And once again, the court had to decide, to whom does East Jerusalem belong? If it belongs to the Israelis, then of course they have a right to build a wall through their territory. But if it belongs to the Palestinians, of course, Israel has no right to build a wall on another person's territory. Any more than anyone in this room, if you have problems with your neighbor, you have the right to build a fence to separate your property from your neighbor's property. But however hostile your neighbor might be, your neighbor might be nasty and throws garbage into your side of the property. But even if your neighbor throws garbage on your side, you do not have the right to build a wall around your neighbor's swimming pool. That's pretty straightforward. These are not complicated questions, let alone around your neighbor's living room. So the court proceeded to discuss these questions, and these were its findings. Number one, the highest judicial body in the world, the International Court of Justice, it said there's a fundamental principle under international law. The principle is, it is not allowed to acquire territory by war. It's inadmissible to acquire territory by war. That's a basic principle of international law. It's a foundation principle. Israel acquired the West Bank and Gaza during the June 1967 war. And therefore, the court said, Israel has no title to any of the West Bank, and no title, no right to any of Gaza. The court said the whole of the West Bank and the whole of Gaza are, and now I'm using their terms, the whole of the West Bank and the whole of Gaza, they are occupied Palestinian territories. Full stop. Next, the court said, or just to back up for a moment, the media like to say, and I assume it's true of the Czech media as well, the media like to say that the West Bank is disputed territory. Is that the phrase they use here? I assume. Oh. well, they call it disputed territory, but not so, says the International Court of Justice. These territories are not under dispute. These territories are occupied Palestinian territories. Number two, the question of the settlements. We're often told that they are very controversial. That's what the media like to say, very controversial, the settlements. But not so, said the International Court of Justice, the highest judicial body in the world. It said the settlements under Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, which says it's illegal to transfer the population of an occupying country to occupied territory, the court said it's clear the settlements are illegal under international law. Full stop. Well, what about Jerusalem? Israel says that Jerusalem is part of its eternal capital. But the International Court of Justice said, how did Israel acquire East Jerusalem? It acquired East Jerusalem in the course of the June 1967 war. But a fundamental principle of international law is it's illegal to acquire territory by war. And so the International Court of Justice said East Jerusalem is part of occupied Palestinian territory. And the court was very clear about that. It refers to the West Bank, comma, including East Jerusalem, comma, and Gaza as occupied Palestinian territories. But that's only half the story. For those of you who follow opinions by the International Court of Justice, they often are very close, 8 to 7, 9 to 6. There are 15 judges on the court. But in the case of the ruling to which I'm now referring, or the opinion to which I'm now referring, it wasn't close at all. The vote was 14 to 1. That's not controversial. And in fact, the only negative vote was the judge from the United States, Thomas Bergenthal. And Mr. Bergenthal said, when he wrote his statement on this particular case, he said, I agree with a lot of what the court has said. And he went on to say, on the main question, the question of the settlements, because obviously if Israel can't build settlements, it doesn't want the West Bank. It's not keeping the West Bank for its scenic value. The court said, Mr. Bergenthal said, I agree. Under Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, the settlements are illegal. So on the fundamental issue, the vote was 15 to 0. And so now you have to sort of try to figure this out.